Jacob Polachek put out an awesome article this weekend of interviews with anonymous SEC coaches. And for KSR Plus, Jacob was able to source multiple coaches that do not coach Kentucky but are in the conference that were able to answer some questions and give some opponent mindset type looks at what the expectations are for Kentucky basketball this year. We're going to do two videos about some takeaways from this interview or this article that Jacob put together. But there's a lot of good stuff in here, a lot of very interesting stuff because you've heard us talk about Kentucky all summer. You've heard obviously the people that cover Kentucky more closely than us talk about his team all summer. You've heard national media give their takes on how good of an offseason it was for Kentucky, any question marks, but you haven't heard people that actually live it, people that are actually going to view Kentucky basketball as an obstacle in their way of whatever their goals are this year. And when you give people anonymity, as we joked about earlier this summer, as long as you say it's anonymous, you can say anything you want, anything your heart desires. You can actually say some truths and get it off your chest. And I feel like that's what happened here. We don't know who the coaches are that commented on this. We might take some guesses at it, but people got harsh and people got, I think, real, knowing that their identity would be protected for this interview. Carter.
Really, really. You smell that?
I don't smell anything, no.
I smell something. I'm not gonna say what it is, but it has to do with being anonymous and saying stuff. I want to ban anonymity. Is that a word?
Anonymity is a word, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
ban that shit. I'm sick of it. Say it with your chest or don't say it at all. For real. Like shout out to Polachek and shout out to everyone who does this. Like it is awesome. But like if you're gonna say something like this along the lines of this, you gotta attach your name to it. Otherwise, like I said, it smells like something I can't say on this channel.
Well, let's get to what was said for your full commentary on this because there was a lot that these coaches had to say. The most interesting
Please.
quote that went most viral, that stirred up the most talk, most opinions, most anger from certain Kentucky fans was this. And I'm going to read the full quote, not just the one-liner that sort of went viral here. Some anonymous SEC coach said this about Kentucky in the upcoming season. They said, quote, "It's like the Yankees, Dodgers, and Mets. They paid for the best team in the country, so they better have the best team in the country. To me, it's national championship or bust when you're paying double, triple, or quadruple what everyone else in the country paid. I like his roster. If I had an unlimited budget, I'd better like my roster too."
Oh my God. Dude, Sean Miller, shut up.
Sean Miller's very low down my list of coaches I think would say this.
Is this Chris Jans?
It could be Chris Jans. Do we want to do the full list of who do we think could have said this right now, or do you want to give your thoughts on the quote first?
I'll get my thoughts on the quote first. Um, we good Lord, you I mean not good Lord. Good thing this was kept anonymous because you sound salty. If that was my roster, I'd be good. If I was a coach of Kentucky, I would do this and this, and I'd be Mark Pope. You sound super, super salty, my friend. Um, I
Well,
mean,
now hold on. Now I want to do the who is it thing because are there not a couple coaches in this league that have a reason to maybe be a little salty with Mark Pope based on the moves he made this summer?
there ain't no way this is. If a defending national champion is talking like this, I would like to sell all my Florida Gator stock right this instant.
I don't think it is. I
Oh,
think he's one of a couple options.
Nate Oates?
I do. I mean, now we're going down the path of it. So
Wait, no, no, you're right. It is talking about money,
talking about
not getting
money.
enough
So
money.
this was going to be my big reveal at the end of this video, but we might as well just do it now. I think it's Nate Oates who said this, and this is personal opinion, hand up. I don't know. Maybe Polachek. Polachek probably won't reveal sources. He's too good of a reporter. But like, my DMs are open if you want to confirm or deny my suspicion. I think this is Nate Oates. Nate Oates. What happened this summer? Kentucky stole one of the key players from Alabama basketball. Mo Diabate is now a Kentucky Wildcat. They also did that to Florida with Denzel Aberdeen, but again, I would argue that Todd Golden has bigger fish to fry and also spent a lot of money on his backcourt. Nate Oates lost Mo Diabate and pretty much, let's be honest here, like doesn't really have any crazy money expenditures this summer that came in. Respectfully to Jaleel Bethea, good player, but like I don't think Nate Oates broke the bank for anyone on this Alabama roster this year. They got Phylon back, and that was kind of the biggest thing. So Nate Oates, number one, has a reason to be pissed at Mark Pope. Number two, has a reason to be upset about money. Because let's be clear, if Diabate got a couple $1 million, that's something Alabama probably isn't paying anybody this upcoming season. And number three, we know this. Nate Oates has kind of gone on record with this, and there's been suspicion behind the scenes that a lot of national people have shared. Alabama is not putting money into their basketball program right now at the level that they need to sustain the success Nate Oates has given them. With rev
Mm.
share coming, maybe it'll change things. But this has kind of been the story. Nate Oates has built great teams. Like he found Mark Sears sort of under the radar in the portal, right? Grant Nelson was a big get a couple years ago. He's recruited really well. He got Brandon Miller there. That was big. But like that was even a little bit before the portal exploded and teams were throwing millions of dollars at everybody. Alabama's not in the top 10, probably not in the top 25 schools in terms of what they're paying for their basketball roster right now. And ultimately, let's be real about it. Alabama's always going to be a football school. So I'm not trying to make this all about Alabama, but if we are playing the guessing game of what coach would say this, 100% Nate Oates is the first candidate in my mind that would go here.
Yeah, when you look at it, it's also I think that just adding everything together and putting up against like other coaches in the country, it does kind of sort of add up there. I will say this: I can't like I'm right for saying or thinking that this comes off as salty, right?
Yeah, there's definitely an element of like jealousy involved here, right? Whoever said this, you would assume feels that they have a limited budget and that Kentucky has an unlimited budget.
Right. I need a Mark Pope response now.
Yeah, Mark Pope doesn't respond to anonymity, I don't think.
Can I be the mouthpiece for Mark Pope? Pause.
I don't think Kentucky fans would ever allow that, but you can try.
I think I'd be great at it. Like he can do the whole gratitude, humble stuff, and I can come in and get very disrespectful.
So basically, like, you are the devil on Mark Pope's shoulder.
Yes.
And then, like, I assume the angel on Mark Pope's shoulder is just a miniature Mark Pope. He has
Right.
himself on his
Right.
own shoulder.
And if chosen for this role, I would cut weight so that I don't hurt Mark
Okay.
Pope's shoulder.
You're the same height. So, yeah, could
Isn't
work.
Mark Pope like 6'10"?
Yeah, you're not the same height. I was just trying to gas you up a little bit. You could have ran with
Thank
that and you didn't. But
thank you.
yeah, okay, conspiracy theory number 2, and then I want to actually give some thoughts on the quote itself instead of just guessing who said this. Uh, you know who else could have said this?
Who?
Who else would have a reason to maybe not love Kentucky in the last couple years? Who else would have a little bitterness, a little resentment? Who else would have had a past relationship with KSR writers that maybe would pick up the phone when KSR called?
Coach Cal didn't say this.
We sure?
Yeah.
We sure this isn't a chess move from Coach Cal?
I feel like KSR people are banned from talking to
Well,
Coach Cal.
here's the truth though, Cart. Again, it's all anonymous, so whoever said it was speaking freely, but here's the truth about it. I think this sentence, the way it was phrased, right? Even going back to the beginning of it, it's like the Yankees, Dodgers, or Mets. To me, if I had an unlimited budget, I better like my roster. It's what was it? When you pay quadruple what everyone else did, you better have a national championship team. There's like a level of almost like gusto to that, right? Like I don't think Lamont Paris would ever go on record speaking like this. Like you almost have to have some cachet, some like I'm that boy, I'm that guy, I'm someone who matters to put these types of words together, which is why to me it has to be one of the bigger profile coaches that would go there. And let's be real, this type of flashy quote, is that not straight out of the Calipari playbook?
It is somewhat. I mean, I guess so, but also I don't think that Coach Cal would take the approach of, I mean, if I was them, like I would be this, that. Like if I had that money, I'd be this, that. Like I don't know. Also, doesn't Arkansas have just as much money as Kentucky?
Well, it's all anonymous, and Cal would presumably know that coming in. I can say whatever I want, it's not going to get traced back to me. So why not put a little added pressure on Mr. Mark Pope?
Facts. I'm also crying at the thought of like Lamont Paris's DM unread in Jacob's inbox. Like I got quotes. He's like, well, no, thank you.
This is true. This is true. All right. Now to the side of the quote here. Do you think this is fair to actually put this type of weight of expectations on Kentucky? Because for better or for worse, like it or not, it's true that Kentucky did spend as much money as anyone in the sport. Like that, the lists have come out, it's been publicized. Kentucky people have even commented on it. They probably spent more money than any other team in college basketball this year on a roster. So is it fair to look at this upcoming season and say, when you're paying double, triple, quadruple what everyone else did, you better be national championship or bust?
What school does they coach at?
Kentucky.
Then yes.
I like that angle.
Yes, it's Kentucky. So yes. If it wasn't, then it wouldn't be Kentucky. Doesn't matter who's there. It is what it is. The assignment, number nine, gratitude. But yes, that's what should be the expectation. Yeah.
Honestly, we did another video on this earlier this morning where we were saying we should advise Kentucky people on how to narrative. And
Hmm.
you're talking, you want to be the mouthpiece for Mark Pope. This is the correct Kentucky response narrative to this. It's not national title or bust because of what we spent. It's national title or bust because we are Kentucky.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what we spend. We could spend $0. We could spend $100 million. It will always be national title or bust. We are Kentucky. Pipe
We could
down,
be
sport.
we could be in the SEC. We could be in this con. We can be in Siberia.
Right,
It's Kentucky.
right.
That's what it is.
I'm kind of afraid of how much fun it's been to narrative on behalf of Kentucky today.
We have rightfully identified that I think they need us whether they want to admit it or not, and we're willing to get this narrative back on track. Because right now, how did the Titanic go down? Didn't it hit an iceberg?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we need to redirect it.
Okay. Do you want to like stand on a ship and hold my hips? Is that how this should end?
No, I'm trying to think. Do you think Mark Pope like wasn't DiCaprio like on the door and like had to let go of the girl?
I think I've not seen Titanic, so I'm just guessing.
What?
Yeah. I know that's
Ah,
off brand for me, but
okay. Yeah, I don't want to get off track here, but we're gonna have to watch that.